Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Full Circle Players Artist Interview Series. I am your host, Jeremy Mercado, and today our artist of the month is...
Me, Janet Valenzo.
Thank you for being here, Janet. A little bit about why we're here today. Here at Full Circle Players, we believe in uplifting local voices and getting to know our artists of our communities, honoring art as a living practice rooted in care, process, and connection. This series is our way of slowing down and listening to and learning who artists are beyond the work, where they come from, and why art continues to matter in their lives and in ours. We've had the pleasure of working with Janet at Full Circle Players in Merry Wives of Windsor, Hamlet, and most recently as a director in our Emerging Artists New Play Festival. Janet, thank you for being here today.
No, I'm happy to be here. Like
Oh,
you said, I've worked in different capacities with Full Circle, so I'm always happy to come back.
yes. Now, obviously, I know who you are, but for our audience, let's start off with who are you?
Okay, yeah, this is the fun question, right? That everyone
Yeah.
just loves to get asked. Yeah, so my name is Janet. My pronouns are she, her, and ella. I always say ella because I am bilingual, and that is a big component of like work I like to do, right? Whether it's art or outside of art, is making it accessible through different languages, and Spanish being fluent is like a big thing. Um, I am both a poet, a writer, an actor. Got my feet wet in directing. That was fun. Um, I am a school counselor. That's the big girl job as well. But yeah, I'm an avid reader. Getting back into the habit has been great. And yeah, there's slow components of me there. And then like the big quick ones are usually like I am a person at the end of the day who just really likes to create and always be connecting, whether that is through art or in other means. Connection and building bridges is like a big part of who I am. I think, yeah. So if I gotta narrow it down, who I am is a build bridger.
Oh, that's excellent. I love that. A
Oh wait,
build bridger. A bridge builder?
bridge builder.
I liked it the way you
Wow,
said
you
it,
know
though.
what? And I said it so confidently. That is something you will always find me
That's beautiful. That's wonderful. What was the term? Was it was
do.
bridge build bridger?
Build
Build
bridger.
bridger. I like that.
This is what happens when I have only talked in Gen Z slang all day to high schoolers. When I'm talking to adults, the words are not there anymore.
Oh. And did you go to what did you go to school for?
Yeah,
Music?
that's the fun part. I went to NYU Tisch, School of the Arts for acting. That was all accidental as well. So like my love and like of theater was something that I always say came to me rather than like me actively seeking out. I feel like if you are meant to be in certain places, you will be placed in those places no matter like the timing or whatever. So when I applied to NYU, I actually wanted to go into international relations and politics. And so, because like I said, I really wanted to build bridges. I'm in my head now about that word
No worries, no worries.
and connections. And so I I had done like a show in high school and because I had to do my art credit, right? Like to graduate and to be like college eligible.
Mhm.
And so I thought, why not? Let's just apply to NYU for drama, not doing my like research into like what that meant and like what NYU and like Tisch and theater meant. Got in and fell in love. Realized there was other ways that you can bring connection to people. And so I did that. And then I got my master's in school counseling at USC. And that also came from a place of how to connect with people. Because when COVID hit, I saw how much it affected like my sister, and she just started high school. And school counseling kind of combined my love for like play and creativity and like grassroots like organizing and like local like just uplifting like in different ways. So yeah, which are they're two different jobs that I never thought I would be in growing up, but two different degrees and communities that I very much needed when I needed them.
Oh, that's very cool. Now you went to school for some you went to an art school. You talked about a lot of arts that you've worked on. But let's say, what is your art?
Oh, I would say poetry. If I have to, it comes back down to it, it is poetry. Um, because I love to write it. But I think that's why I love performing Shakespeare so much, is because it is poetry. There's something about language. So like anything with language, but if I have to like say it, I would say poetry and bringing poetry to life, whether that is through like like Shakespeare plays or other kind of plays. Um, but yeah, there's something about language in itself.
Okay. Well, that's exciting. And when did you discover that? When did you discover poetry, or when did it like click for you?
Uh, I know I okay, I always think it's so cliche when people are like, and it's cliche for a reason because it's true, right? It's I've always known since I was a kid, but it is true. I was that kid who would write. I when I was cleaning out my mom's like house, I found floppy disks of like work and like printed like I used to write song lyrics, but I'm not the greatest singer, so I pivoted and was like, how do we and so that's kind of like since I would say I wasn't like a very full of emotions preteen. I have been writing, and then I got to dabble in like actually how to structure a book and like bring more. Because I mean, in college, I did like some spoken word. I performed. I wrote. I even wrote a piece that I got to perform, and like it was great through like my theater that I was with. So like it was very. It's always been there, but to actually sit down and hone the craft was during COVID because I mean that's what everyone was doing, right? Was like sitting at home and like how do I make myself still like have this creativity, like creative outlet. Um, and so yeah, I would say I've had it always there since I was a kid, but I think the moment it became like a no, this is a like thing that is just in me, almost like an anchor, would be during COVID.
Hmm. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, we all finally had time to do
Yeah,
all those bake bread and do all those things we never had time for before.
yeah. I didn't get to bake bread. I really wish I had picked that up though. I really do.
Well, still time. Well, that's so cool. You used to write songs, or you wrote lyrics. That's so cool.
Yeah,
Oh
not
my gosh.
I always say I can sing. I'm great in like an ensemble,
Hmm.
but I can own up to the fact that I will never be like a lead, and I'm okay with that. Like I'm totally okay to music. I don't need to do a musical. Like I will gladly sub be like ensemble on stage. And I'm sure like with help and that I could grow, but I think it's just more of like I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses and yes.
Oh, well, you are an excellent writer. I remember one of your poems at last year's Emerging Artists Festival, and it was actually one of the reasons that inspired me for you to get nominated for part of this series we're doing here.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Absolutely. Um, you are incredibly talented, and I think you talk about a lot of art in your life. So why would you say art is important to you?
It is the thing that I always come back to, or I guess it always comes to me when I need it the most. Um, I'll give you kind of an example, like to make it a little more tangible. So last year I did two plays. I did Our Ladies of Sorrow, which is it's a new work and it's beautiful, and it was a very heavy show, but it made me face things about myself that I needed to face in a beautiful, safe space. Um, but I didn't know I needed to face those kinds of things. I just remember coming out of the show going, this show has given me the opportunity to voice things I couldn't voice. Or maybe I could, but I needed that like extra push to like, okay, let's go for it. Then I went into what's it called Romeo and Juliet at the Fringe Festival, and that show in itself just reminded me what it meant to just play. Like Our Ladies was very like heavy intro, like self, like how, like where am I in my own life and journey. And Romeo and Juliet, despite it being a drama, was full of love and humor, and especially with the people I was surrounded by. And I was just very like, I got to be reminded that theater is fun. Yes, people do it as like a serious thing and like this is their passion, and I love that. But it's also just a bunch of adults dressing up in costumes and going on stage and just putting on like funny accents and like or like nod and like just like having fun. Like um and I think that balance last year was literally a reminder of like, because I would like every, I can tell you every play I've been in, what it has given me and what it like what it has brought out for me is like on point. I always say every show I have been in has come to me when I needed it, in a different part of my life. So yeah.
Oh, that's that's really cool. That's really cool. It Hearing you talk about it really makes me think about the connections and how you're such a how you talked earlier in the interview about connections and almost how art can help us connect to ourselves as well.
Mhm.
And it can make us see things that we didn't realize we were carrying with us as well. And I think that's so cool that you were able to have that experience. And I remember you in that show. You were fantastic. I love that work. The Our Ladies of Sorrow was it's such a powerful piece.
Mhm.
Um, and But you talked about some of your past work, so let's talk about the future. Are you working on anything currently?
I'm actually it's fun. I am not like actively. I know that I have some auditions coming up, so that'll be exciting. But because I'm not doing anything in theater, I am able to pivot now to my other love that has been kind of taking the back burner in this period. Because for the past few years, I've just been doing theater, which is great. Like I've done a show every season of the year, and that has just been, I'm very blessed in that scenario. Um, but I this is the first year where I can say winter and the beginning of spring I'm not doing a show, but I have the opportunity now to focus on writing. And so I am working on some articles that will highlight theater and artists in the Inland Empire, through my publisher, because they're doing like their like anniversary magazine, because they used to be like a magazine first. So being able to like stretch those muscles, it's been a minute since I've written articles. And so I'm like, yes, like this is amazing. Like this is where I kind of like get to push myself a little bit. And I think this is kind of what I needed, because I have been in a writer's block for a second in my own personal work. So I was like, okay, let me shift mediums rather than focusing on poetry, and like autobiographical work. Let me do like article and like investigative and like journalism. So that's kind of what I'm working on. So it'll be great. And I was able to pitch to my editor that I wanted to specifically highlight theater in the IE and artists in the IE, because I have a strong belief that there is so much art and beauty here. And unfortunately, because we're surrounded by like San Diego County and LA County, it like gets forgotten. Um, and yeah, I was like, can I please do this? Like she was like, originally like the idea was like, how do I highlight theaters like around the, and I was like, no, please, like I will still do that, but I will find a way to bring it back to the IE. And she was like, okay. I was like, great. So that's what I have been working on. So yeah, it's a different art. But in the meantime, I'm also on the board of a theater, and so this is it's more life. They started out here in like the IE as well. That's who I did Romeo and Juliet with last year. But this is also my first time being a board member, and so what does that entail? What it look like, to go from being on stage to now, how do you bring something to life? Um, I do believe again how like plays and art come to me when I need it. This is the next step for me. It's like, how can I support other artists? Um, so yeah, that's it's a really great experience. I'm really excited to like start that journey.
Well, that's really exciting. I'm
Mhm.
really happy for you about that. That's really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right. I think before we go, I want to give you a chance to plug anything you want, your articles, your magazine. I know you wrote a book, right?
Yes.
Where can we find your book?
So you can go to my website, JanetteValenzo.com, or you can look up Alegria Publishing, where you will find a plethora of poetry and memoir books and different kind children's books. So Alegria Publishing is a Latina owned and ran publishing company. Um, they are wonderful, very much built on community and connection, which is why I was so lucky to be picked up by them. So I wrote this book called Before I Say Goodbye. It is a love story, but it doesn't look like a love story at the beginning. I call it a poetic play in 5 acts. So each poem goes into the next one and creates kind of this like world where some, oops, sorry, my cat just like jumped on the table,
No
where
worries.
where some poems will respond to others. It is very much again combining kind of my love for theater and poetry and creating this love story and heartbreak. As one of my dear friends and like inspirations has once said, like it is when you give everything to yourself, you have to remember to give back to you, like what is left. And so before I say goodbye is kind of your last words before you say goodbye to everything you thought was once, and you get to explore what is now.
That's beautiful. That's
Oh, thank you.
I
Yeah.
think I don't
But
know that.
no, I just
Beautiful.
I love it. It's yeah, and so I really hope people love it. And I will actually be at the LA Times Festival of Books in April, selling copies in person with the publishing company. So it's a free event, so everyone's welcome. It's at USC, and it's just for every book reader out there. You should definitely come. Even if you don't buy my book, come get to like explore. It'll be great. I went as a kid growing up, and so being able to go back, I've done it once before as like an author. So to go back again it's going to be great. Yeah, because I went as a kid, so got to see my dreams come true.
All right. All right. That's exciting. Well, thank you for sitting down with us today, Janet. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. You are a source of light in this universe. And I think I'll just say thank you, Full Circle players, for letting us do this. And remember, theater is for all. And be sure to join us next time to get inspired. Thank you very much.